Hello, YouTube. Welcome back again to another Nerd Report. And I come to you with somber heart and my head held down low because the end has come. So, before we get into that reasoning, please subscribe to the channel, hit like, and also stay for the story. So, what is causing my melancholy on today? So as a Uber driver, and I do Uber full time, this is going to hurt a lot more than somebody who does this part time. So, users in Atlanta are canceling rides with human drivers until they match ones with Waymo's self-driving cars. Yes, the end is here. The end of my run with Uber has come to its inevitable conclusion. Yes, I sound dramatic. Sorry for it, but it's more of a coping mechanism than anything. Uh, I've been doing Uber for 11 years. I was a cab driver before, um, and I've been doing it in this area in the District of Columbia for 11 years, in the DMV as a whole for 16 years. So I've driven a lot. So now that self-driving cars and self-driving taxis or full autonomous vehicles are here, it's more along the lines of understanding where we are, where we're going to, and how we're going to get to the next step in the future. I am a futurist. I was not. I could tell people this now that I have never been a person who walks into situations with their eyes wide shut. Uh, Uber came in like a wrecking ball to the cab industry. I was a cab driver before. I jumped ship well before a lot of cab drivers did because I understood the direction that people were going in. And understanding where the people are is where you understand where you need to go. So, taking my same advice, understanding where the people are going, and understanding what's going to happen, you can honestly see the road ahead. So, what happened when Uber came in from the taxi model that's been around for 100 years? Remember, the cab model has been around for as long as there's been vehicles almost. A lot of people came from World War I, World War II, and they wanted to get a job real quickly, so they became cab drivers. So now after, you know, 70, 80, 90 years, now all of a sudden you have a Uber, a Lyft, rideshare in general has come and sprung up in its place. So now after 10 or 11 years of rideshare, now what is the next inevitable evolution is going to end up being robo taxis. The whole idea is basically you make one company big enough to be able to provide service for a lot of people. Period. That's what the cab model could not do. You know, people traveling, going from place to place, they had to download different apps or know the phone numbers of different cab companies in the area. Those days are gone. You have one app. You can go from here to Argentina to France to London and use the same exact app. That is convenience. Convenience always follows for customers. So, with that being said, this article is what you call the canary in the coal mine for somebody like myself and anybody who's thinking to invest in rideshare. So I had just talked to a gentleman about 2 days ago, and he was telling me how he was thinking about investing in a fleet of cars. And I was telling him, sir, this is not a good idea for you to do it. And he was, we spoke for like 10 or 15 minutes, and I explained to him that automation is coming to any and every sector of our economy. Rideshare is not include is also included in that sector. And here you are consumers are gravitating towards the automation of rideshare. So to give you the long and short of it, I, as a person, I have a tendency to talk to my customers. I am more of a people person than most. I like to talk to people. It gives me insight on what's going on. So with that being said, you if people are literally canceling rides with drivers like myself just so they can get into a car with no human beings, that tells you, one, how bad Uber and Lyft services are with human beings on it. Be It's not like I live inside of a bubble. I see it myself. I see it myself. You know, college girls, women rule the market. Women move market. Period. Anybody who's a blind eye to that, believe me when I tell you, when women are uncomfortable, they move markets, and markets move where they are. And as a former cab drivers, women were uncomfortable in cabs, which is why Uber took off, because women felt comfortable in Ubers and in Lyfts. Now automation is going to happen. Women are going to feel more comfortable in a driverless car because they don't have to get hit on. They don't have to be harassed. They don't have to be judged. It's going to be them by themselves. Have a nice day. And a lot of drivers, because low wages, not getting paid enough, uh, you know, a lot of drivers would use the platform, male drivers would use the platform to hit on women. You end up having a very toxic relationship with customers, which automatically pushes women to go towards a more human, less option. That's pretty much what it is. These are factors that are in place. People don't inherently not like people. People don't like the toxic side of people, and that's kind of what we're having when it comes to the rideshare industry. We're seeing that, even from my point of view, I get a lot of people that ask me to want me to, be a private driver for them. I come off as more of a friendly person. I don't pry into people's lives. I conversate. I talk. I like to know what's on people's minds, but I try to be respectful in my conversations. And people like that. But every single person that's on the platform is not like how I am. And I can't expect other drivers to do the same. So when automation comes a knocking, guess what? There's not enough drivers like me that's on the platform that's going to want to keep them around. And even inside this Business Insider article, which I'm going to link in the description, it details stories where people don't want to feel like they're being judged. They don't want to be, harassed. They don't want to be talked to sometimes. Social skills is not just being able to talk to people. It's also knowing when not to talk. And a lot of drivers, they just do this as a part-time, or try to get a couple dollars in their pockets, and they have a car. Well, the social side of Ubering is lost to some people, and you can't teach it. You have to know it. And I understand it because I've talked to enough people. You could tell when people want to be open to conversation. You say, "Hey, how's it going?" And then they'll go into a whole stint of talking. If you say hello and they go hi, then you leave them alone. That's just basic social 101 sometimes. But the social aspect of rideshare has always been to leave people alone when they don't want to be bothered. And this is one of the reasons why automation is coming to rideshare as fast as it is. So the fact that users are canceling rides with human beings and want to get in a car by themselves with no human beings at all bothering them shows you to what extent automation is coming. I don't know if other rideshare drivers are going to understand what's coming. Only thing I can do as a YouTuber of tech and a Uber driver, because this hits directly home with me, is to inform what the next proceedings getting ready to happen down the line. So one of the bigger things that's going to start happening is, you know, how how far are we going to? How much time do you have? And I do Uber full time. I'm kind of invested for a longer term than most drivers are. If you're part time and you kind of pick this up from time to time, you'll start seeing trips for you to start diminishing around very heavily populated areas. So, like for me, Washington, D.C., around the capital is going to become no man's land for an Uber driver like me very soon. Waymo is going to start providing services themselves directly around the Capitol, around the White House, around major populated points in DC. So the suburbs is where it's going to end. This is going to end up pushing me towards. Now, it will stagnate for a while. This is coming from somebody who is a futurist and understanding how this technology works. The rideshare companies have to invest in data centers at a larger clip. Now, to give you an idea on what type of hurdles that they're going to have to start working with, think of Google Maps, where it shows you all the restaurants and everything. Think of Google Maps as having to be super detailed down to the pothole. That is the only restriction to the rideshare growth of automation. They are going to have to be so detail oriented when it comes to where every single bump, bruise, and tree limb is, so they can avoid not hitting them. That's their drawback. That's what I don't think a lot of people like understand. These cars are not wandering around by themselves. They are constantly linked to a data center. They drive around pretty much like what's a good analogy? They're driving around like Pac-Man, and the path is already predetermined where they're gonna go. They don't do anything independently of each other. The only thing the sensors do is make sure that it doesn't hit, a squirrel dropping a nut out of a tree. That's pretty much what they're doing. And the best analogy I can give is, think of this more along the lines of, how you as an individual are driving down the road and that pothole that's at the third stop sign down the street from your home. That pothole's there because you've probably already hit it 15 times, but it's there, and you consciously move to the right or you move to the left to avoid it. The reason why you consciously could do that is because you've already hit it enough that you needed to automatically get away from hitting it again. That's how detailed these maps are going to have to be for a lot of these rideshare companies that's going to go into automation, is down to the street level, knowing where everything is. Waymo has cameras all over the place. Robo taxis are going to have cameras all over their cars. They're doing what they're doing is mapping as well as detailed information on a map that's on a data center. Hey, at 51st and 3rd Street, there's 3 cones, 2 human beings waving a flag, in construction. And it sends that back up to the mothership, and then the mothership tells all the rest of the cars, hey, at 51st and 3rd, avoid this as much as you possibly can. We got a detailed map of it right now, but we're going to go back later and map it again, and we'll go back and map it again. That way we can get a better path. That is exactly how a lot of this automation is going to end up going. It takes time, and because it takes time, they're not going to be able to do giant areas and swaths of areas very fast. So if you are a person of rideshare and you are deciding to want to do this for the first time, you'll do pretty good for a while. Eventually, don't try to buy a vehicle to invest in rideshare because it's already gone. You know, just like truckers, getting into the game of trucking, if you're not already in it by now, there's no need to be new trying to get in, trying to get a brand new truck. Automation's coming to the truck is the truck coming to the trucking industry also. It's one of those things where understanding where you should put your resources at so you can prosper somewhere else. Rideshare is not it anymore. It's going the way of the dodo bird. Companies have decided that, hey, the human being needs to be taken out of the equation. And not only is the corporations thinking the human being needs to be taken out of the equation, but also the customer base thinks that a lot of the human beings need to be taken out of the equation also. I don't blame them. Everybody can't drive like how I drive. I carry a 4.99 star rating as an Uber driver. Not many people can do what I've done. And that's not me tapping myself on the back. It's even me understanding how I have to control myself. And a lot of people don't exhibit that same control. So I'm not surprised to see articles like this coming out where they are saying, hey, people are trying to not ride with human beings. That's not something that I'm super surprised about. It's understanding how much time do I have before this becomes a nonchalant, mindless job. It's already there, but how much time do I have? That's pretty much what I'm getting to right now. But thank y'all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you're a rideshare driver and what's your progress? Are you thinking about trying to invest in this? Which like I said, disagree with. Get your money, get in, get out, go and hurry up and find something else. That's the best way I can say it. I've invested a lot into it. I bought another vehicle, but I went in knowing that this was coming. If a person decides to jump into this and doesn't know this is coming, that can hurt them a lot. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you're trying to do. Let me know if you are a rideshare driver and didn't see this coming. A lot of people don't. But thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a good one.